So now then, moving on to terms of sales, terms of sale, it can be what we call generic or specific. Generic terms of sale is like, if you are doing business, you might say like, okay, you, Harris, well, that's my name, for example, Harris, you're going to pay me. You are the buyer. You are my supplier, in fact, from China. So I'm going to pay for my goods, and included in that payment, you're going to pay me for the transportation, not only until the port of destination, but until my warehouse, and even, you know, you pay for my warehouse or whatever, even. Because I don't have one, you find a warehouse for me, you send everything to a warehouse in my country, and you pay for that. You pay for that, but I will include my payment for everything. It means that my payment will buy your goods, and then you make it possible to get the goods to me, and somebody who is owning a warehouse in my country will contact me, and I will take the goods from there. Probably that is not in the Incoterms, for example. It's something you created. It's what you need. You have to include that somewhere in the contract. Instead of picking up what we call Incoterms. Incoterms is what we have in this world. From my research, probably I'm wrong, but from my research, the latest Incoterm was in 2020, last year, given by the International Chamber of Commerce. Then what is the Incoterms? Incoterms, well, when you buy or sell goods across national borders, you and the other party must have clear understanding of the terms for moving those goods to the destination. And as I said before, sign a contract that include the terms. It's the things that you are mentioning, the terms that you are using to get goods from one country to another, apart from the payment we are using, as I said, for buying goods. Like here, to make it clearer, here are the most common terms in international trade or settlement. There are not all, there are so many of them. Before, they had several pages of Incoterms, but now we have a lot of it, a lot of pages. CFR, FOB, CIF, they are commonly used agreement models for international shipping. So each type of agreement specifies which party is responsible for the goods and the point at which responsibility transfers from the supplier to the importer. So these Incoterms are telling you who is responsible for damaged goods, who is responsible for goods that are sent to a ship and it never reaches the place of destination. So those are included in the contract, and the contract is what we need for settlement. We even, in the settlement application, you have to fill in the Incoterms that you need or needed for sending goods. So I have picked up those three ones that are important here to be explained. So we start with FOB, which stands for free on board. That the seller pays the transportation of the goods to the port of shipment plus loading costs. So with this term, the supplier is not going to pay until your door. But if you are buying from Nanning, where I am now, then sending the goods to Shanghai, then I will pay for your shipments until Shanghai. And from Shanghai, there will be a big ship bringing it somewhere, and that's another story. Now, The other one is what we call CIF, cost, insurance, and freight. Shipping agreements that is used in international trade as well, where the seller has responsibility for the cost of the goods in transit, providing minimum insurance. That's what is said in the name. You have insurance being paid, paying the freight charges, okay, which is the freight part of the name, to move the goods to a destination chosen by the buyer. From the point of delivery at the destination, the buyer assumes, we're not talking about the supplier, buyer assumes responsibility for unloading charges and any further shipping costs to final destination. It's more or less the same thing as FOB. The difference is it has more coverage in terms of costs. It pays insurance and it pays freight. Okay, so when you are paid insurance, then when something happening, that insurance is covering the cost that you might be taken out from your, that might be taken out from your pocket money or the treasury of your company. The other one is CFR, cost and freight. The seller is required to arrange for a carriage of goods by sea to a port of destination and provide the buyer with the documents necessary to obtain the goods from the courier. So that is the one that is cost and freight. If you compare that with CIF, what is missing? The insurance. It doesn't cover any insurance. Now, if we look at this from the reference of place of delivery, division of risks, and mode of transportation, FOB is to the port of shipment. This is where what is it? The supplier is taking charge. And then the risks, goods placed on board the vessel. And then the mode of transport can be sea or inland, waterway. Okay, that's where it is. And CFR is more or less the same thing. The same, in fact, in terms of division of risks and then mode of transportation. And then there are others here, down here, that gives details of, as you can see here, some are let's say, any mode. If we look at the mode of transportation for some here, if we refer to sea and inland waterway in some terms, then if we just pick FCA, for example, that is any mode of transportation being used for that, land, sea, and air. The next point we're going to have a look at is the bill of lading. The bill of lading. Break. Okay. So, do you need a break? Five, how much time? 5 minutes?
Everyone, do you need 10-minute break?
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I want a break.
Huh? Okay, 7 minutes break. We'll be back at 30.
Everyone, if you want to break, we have 7 minutes, and our team will send you the evaluation form.
Yeah, free break, 3:30.
Today training.
Beijing
In
time.
the chat room.
Anyway, after 7 minutes.
Thank you.
7 minutes, not 5.
Sorry, everyone, during your break time, we will send you the evaluation form to confirm your attendance
So
of
everybody,
today's
if you have
training.
any questions, maybe you can also wrap up your questions in the chat room and we will check it later. Yeah, I think Dr. Harris,
Where's that?
chat room.
Is that the question?
Yeah, you read the question, but nobody opened the mic to answer you, but they answer it in your.
The best one is because the best for exporter is
This is what I mean. Some promises.
actually. Yeah. Hmm. We mentioned this in the Huh? Oh. So, what am I going to do first? Just continue. What? Hello, everybody. Are you back?
Hello,
Hello, teacher.
Okay, great,
Hello, Mr. Donarson.
great. You can call me Harris.
I'm
Yes,
sorry.
we left with the bill of lading, very important document in international trade.
Chồng mà bạn bạn ta đi this again.
So here we're starting
Ini
with
bag
what
lah.
type of
Bag mana?
document it is. Firstly, we need to know that bill of lading, well, bill of lading, long ago it was called bill of loading. Loading. The bill paper we use when we are loading a ship, for example, when we are shipping things and we take notes of what's in the ship, in a container and things. But later they changed the name into lading instead of loading for some reasons. So it's a non-negotiable document. It is negotiable document while it is transferable document, meaning that there is transferability that enables us to firstly claim payment from the bank even before goods reach the destination. As I mean, you know, when it's sent from the exporter, then you can get the goods or we claim payment. So the bill of lading is used for that kind of payment. And it's also witnessing the fact that we have paid. And in fact, if you have an original copy of a bill of lading sent to you and then you want to clear the goods from customs, you can use that using the bill of lading. Without bill of lading, you cannot take possessions of any goods, even though you have paid for the goods. So it's a title document. It means from the exporter. The exporter is the owner of the goods you are buying until those goods are reaching your door or before there's an exchange of title. Title, it's like it's my possession as someone who is selling to you. And then I send the goods by sea or whatever. When the goods is arriving somewhere, it gets held up by the customs. And then to get it out of the custom, the bill of lading is needed usually, apart from other documents. So once you have the bill of lading, the original bill of lading, because there's also a copy. If you get a copy of bill of lading, what it says is it's just like it tells you what has been shipped, but it doesn't really have any authority of of clearance. Like, you don't own the goods you received with a copy of a bill of lading. You need the original copy, not the photocopy, for example. So that's the transferability, if I just explain in a simple term. So you can also sell even before, if the goods, you can sell the goods even before they reach destination, meaning that you have the bill of lading. If you send that to, there is a bank somewhere, and you don't have any you don't have any capability of paying the supplier, then you probably, with that bill of lading, you send the goods to a bank, you exchange the goods into money, for example. Then what we can take from this very simple thing. So bill of lading is a title document. Okay. Once you have it, it means the title is changing. The possession of goods is changing from that of the exporter into the importer. And on the other aspect, it means even though you have paid the exporter, but you don't have a bill of lading, it means the goods are not yours. Okay. So bill of lading is the only evidence to file claim against the shipping company in the event of non-delivery, defective delivery, or short delivery. Okay, non-delivery, you don't get the goods, you use bill of lading to sue the company. Defective delivery, like you are importing glasses, and there are damaged goods, and then you use it also, because in the bill of lading there's a list of things that are intact. It's not like, okay, 5 of the glasses are broken. Nothing is written like that in the bill of lading, so you can claim. And short delivery, non-delivery of cargo at the intended port. Like if you are living in one country, there are 2 ports. One is in the south, one is in the north. The one in the north is closer to your place, and that was written in a contract for shipment. And now you receive the goods in the south, which is very far away. You have to pay extra money to get it from there. Then you can use the bill of lading as a supporting document to sue the one involved. Okay, so if the importer makes payment, he can lose the claim, as he will be in the possession of negotiable copy of bill of lading. Otherwise, the exporter can lose the claim and receive the value of goods, which is something that I already explained just now. Now, you'll probably be curious to know what kind of document is this bill of lading. Well, of course, some of you know it already. This is going to refresh your memory. So here in the Chinese context, or the Chinese type of bill of lading, you can see here on the left-hand side of this screen where you have these Chinese characters written. And it's written bill of lading, and you have these. Some are simpler than this, but if you talk about a complete bill of lading, it's like this. You have these information items being referred to on the paper. So the original freight information written here, if we are looking at the right-hand side of this slide, where you have colored things. In the middle, you have what and how much is being shipped. And then the shipper signs the freight was shipped in good order. Down here, not with chipped glasses or whatever. And then the courier signs it was received in good order from the supplier or whatever. And if we go up Here we have destination of freight. Where is it going? Vietnam, Cambodia, or whatever. Who pays? Okay. Prepared shipper, collect, receiver, or whatever. And then down here, receiver signs that freight was received in a good order. So this is just a sample of it, and outlining the most important part of this bill of lading. But you know, countries to countries, there are in international trade standardized documents that do not really change, but others are changing depending on the item, depending on the size of business, depending on how many things you have in the container being shipped. So there is also the fact that we need to know the difference between shipping bill and bill of lading. These are two different things because some people are mistaken when they are required to submit a bill of lading. What they submit is shipping bill, and then this delays business. So their goods are stored somewhere at the port, and they will not get it unless they have the right documentation. So what is the difference here? The shipping bill is a usual bill for the shipment, a customs document stating what, from where, to where, when, the address of destination, the value, etc. It is used where drawback is claimed, such as goods exported or durable, you know, goods transshipped. That's a little complicated, but let me make it easy. The drawback claim here is in a country, if you are shipping things today in March, and then in that country, the government might decide after 6 months that everyone who shipped things, containers of certain size in March, at that time, March is already a past date. Last March, then they will be given a kind of discount. Some of the money is returned. So in that time, if you don't have a shipping bill, then you are not going to get that kind of you know, advantage, the money that is the drawback. That's what we call a drawback. Meaning that even though some people might not find it important to have a shipping bill, you might ask you know, the shipment, the one in charge of shipment, to give you a shipping bill and then put it somewhere in case this happens later. But the bill of lading is much more powerful than this one, because as I said before, you're not going to get your goods without it. And it is to be sent by the supplier. So the supplier, if you will see a little later in collection, collection, that when somebody is being afraid of not being paid, he's not gonna send the bill of lading, for example, or rely on something else. So that's what it is for bill of lading. But now there's another important document used, you know, sometimes even a replacement of a bill of lading for some reasons. But bill of lading is very, very important. Now, bill of exchange is another one. Bill of exchange, by definition, it's an instrument in writing containing an unconditional order signed by the maker, directing a certain person to pay a certain sum of money only to, or to the order of a certain person, or to a bearer of the instrument at a maturity date. The last word is very, very important. This is just a piece of paper given. It's like a check, for example. Maybe that's very, very easy to understand it. And here we have a little more definition that can put things easier. A document ordering the payment of money. when you are talking about payment of money, there's somebody who is paying, somebody is receiving payment. So drawn by one person or a bank on another. Drawn here is signed by the person, like, okay, this should be given to Max. The payment is for Max. Then I sign it. So it's like a check, for example, is one of those, one of what we call bill of exchange, and it has dates. If I get back to what I said before, maturity date is it's written, it's given today, but probably you're not allowed to use it today. Okay, because the one who drawed it, the one who gave it, is still in need of the money that should be given to you. He's gonna use that money in business, but the paper is a kind of giving you the guarantee that this will be paid. It's just paid a little later, but it's given to you today. Then the maturity date is the time when the one who is given it to cash it, to transfer a paper into a cash. Like, okay, now the maturity date of this this bill is today, so I'm going to the bank today. All right, you can go to the bank tomorrow, but probably there's a limit, like from this time until this time. After that, there's a problem, probably. Okay, and in business, human beings as well, they might give this check, and then there's no liquidity. There's no money in the bank when you are cashing it. So that's why we have what we call due diligence, or whatever we're going to see a little later. But we're not focusing on the negative aspect of this yet. We're just talking about its importance. Then we have the drawee for this bill of exchange, the person who draws the bill, who is endorsing it. The drawee, the person to whom the bill is drawn, who is receiving, who is where it is given, for example. And then the person to whom amount of the bill is payable, the person who is getting the money. So the drawee probably is a bank who is cashing the money, for example. And the drawee and the payee can be, in some cases, one person. There's sight bill of exchange, so also known as demand bill of exchange. The drawee has to make the payment on presentation, bringing it, at the time it is signed or whatever. But there's also usance bill of exchange. The payment is to be made on maturity date. As I told you before, it doesn't have to be paid today, but in a later time. That's usance. And clean bill of exchange, the clean bill of exchange is one when relative shipping documents do not accompany it. It means the bill of lading is not there, but just this bill can do the job. So in this case, a bill of lading is sent directly to the importer to enable him to take delivery of the cargo, for example. So in this case, also, there are two documents at least given to the importer, the bill of exchange and the bill of lading. But before the bill of exchange reaches the importer, it can also be used for something. And it's clean because it doesn't require any other documents to be used with it. So this is these are samples of this